Welcome back, everybody, to Week 5, Division 1. My name is Cabral, coach of the Hash-Slinging Aegis Slashers. And with me is...
Aurora, coach of the Hoonsbrook Honic. I was waiting for my cue.
That was enough of a cue there, I thought. I guess not, but what a start. You know what they say, third time's a charm. Let me stop the course, start over. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. We've already tried this once or twice. In fact, it was
you usually introduce your co-host with joining me is or something like that. You don't just end your sentence with your own introduction.
Nah, just walk in the door awkwardly through the curtains and kind of sheepishly wave as everyone's just staring at us. So, what a...
Yeah, either way, I hear excitement in your voice, and there is reason for excitement because this week was a doozy.
Oh my goodness, a lot has happened. Just the season overall of Double Dip Draft happening is crazy. From what I understand, there's some intensity that wasn't there for some other seasons. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, with other seasons, we've usually had just by week 5, around this time, people would usually start just being locked in for playoffs already. So some people just didn't need to worry as much anymore. Some people maybe had to really struggle. But in this case, especially in Division 1, it's anyone's game still.
Yeah, and it's really crazy. We're gonna go over the stats and everything at the end, of course. Which, is honestly in itself going to be pretty crazy because we have some... Let's get started with the first match before we get too into the stats and the rulings. We got our first match lined up right here with Phantom Knight of the Haunted Mansion Gengars. I keep wanting to say your team name. There's so many H's this year. It's insane. We have Kenneth of the Neerdowell Nidokings. And... what a fight. Shall we get started right here? Click play?
Yes, let's go.
All right. Let's start off with Registeel, and we get a snowboarding right away with some hail from Kenneth.
Yeah, and also Kenneth very boldly staying in with his Vanillux and just hard blizzarding this Registeel, even though it could probably kill him with her with just a single Iron Head.
Definitely could. Good switch in to Claydol there with a Hammer Arm, dropping some speed on that Registeel. It's probably going to switch out here, I believe. Yep, to Scolipede. This thing is scary.
Yeah, and Kemmer's team struggles heavily against this thing. It immediately just claims 1 life, killing this Claydol Megahorn.
Yeah.
And now with just a single speed boost, it is already threatening to outspeed most of Kemmer's team if it isn't scarfed.
Yeah. Which I don't think it is scarfed, is it? I believe it's life.
No. The Scolipede. I mean, if none of Kemmer's Pokemon are scarfs.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, I thought you meant that thing being that. So Hail goes back out to do additional residual damage, switches out Scolipede. We get some Electivire action here.
Yeah, and of course threatening the Ice Shard, which does come out to kill the Scolipede, or at least threaten it out. And as things are right now, the Scolipede actually is low enough that it can't come back in unless Phantom Knight defogs. Which is something he doesn't end up doing, which means that just by hazards, the Scolipede is dead.
Yeah. The Hail really helped out quite a bit here, just helping take out some additional health for some Pokemon.
Yeah, it tips down Phantom Knight's team. It does also break any potential sashes that Phantom Knight might have on his Pokemon. It is actually a little bit working against Kenneth as well, because as we see later, his Crustle is... Yeah, his Crustle is Shell Smash with Sturdy and Heavy Duty Boots. With the idea being that Sturdy will always keep you alive, but if you Shell Smash, take 99% of your health, then Hail will kill you at the end of the turn.
Yeah, and then we have this lovely Crustle come out and save the day with that Shell Smash. An Earthquake just Oko's Registeel right there. We have Rock Blast just killing Tornadoes right away. Right here, I believe we get a
X-Scissor, yeah. We're feeling the final move on this moveset, and then the Scolipede dies to the rocks that's coming in.
Yep. So what a crazy match. I want to just go back a little bit real quick. I mentioned the Aqua Jet, and can we have a crash course on what does Psychic Terrain do for the third time?
Not even just Psychic Terrain, just all the terrains in general, because every week I'm pretty sure we've had at least somebody fuck up something with one of the terrains. In this case, Phantom Knight doesn't know that in Psychic Terrain, priority moves they don't work against grounded Pokemon. And in this case, Alakazam is grounded and thus gets protected from the priority Aqua Jet from the Primarina.
Mm-hmm. Something to keep in mind when team building and looking at terrains. A lot of players really like. I feel like a couple have, but I feel like a lot of the divisions, or a lot of the players in the divisions, have not taken advantage of the terrain. Sure, we have Cody's team with electric terrain. We do have Vincent with his grassy terrain, unburdening, usually coming in with the
Halucha.
Yeah, Halucha. Thank you. Other than that, no one's really used the terrains to their advantage.
Kenneth has mostly opted to use Psychic Terrain for expanding Force of Alakazam, which admittedly, that's a stupid amount of damage that comes out of that.
But also amount of damage.
But also, given it's Psychic, which means it just straight up does have an immunity.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep them Dark types on standby.
Yeah, but a great match between the two, and it's really this match right here is really helping to shape up how their division is going to start looking here, because Division 1, it's a fun time. I think that's about it for this match. Is there anything else you could really think of with it besides it being a great match for Kenneth and really helping that differential?
Yeah, I will note that, like usual, I feel this was a lot closer than it looks. I feel if Kenneth hadn't misplayed with the Aquajet and Primarina, just switched out to something else, probably the Electivire on Alakazam, and had Aquajet Primarina to counter this Crustle later, Phantom Knight might have been able to come out on top.
Yeah, definitely a close match. A good show from Phantom Knight there as well. Both players just doing really well. Let's go ahead and move on then to the next match, if you want to introduce that for us.
Of course, the second match we have this week is Firebolt, coach of the Minnesota Magikarps, versus GTP Woody, coach of the Schaumburg Salamences.
I like how you can say Schaumburg far easier than remembering Minnesota.
Look, it's Minnesota or Minneapolis. I always mix the two together.
One's a state, one's a city.
Look, I'm not native. I'm not American.
That's fair. That's like getting That's like getting a county and a city mixed up in where you live.
I'm pretty sure half the reason Spood has had me do Division 2 most of the weeks is because he doesn't want to pronounce either Heerlen or Hoensburg.
I think that's completely fair, honestly. I can definitely see that. So, what an interesting match. Like, looking at the lineup here with Woody putting on a good show, bringing some good Pokemon, I feel like, against what Firebolt has to offer.
Yeah, again, I feel Woody's draft is actually really good. The one sort of like weird one out is the Hippowdon, which he only really has Lycanroc to take advantage of it, and Lycanroc doesn't need it all that much.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, I feel Woody's draft in general just is strong. Like, Noivern is a very good, like, low-tier Pokemon. It's fast, it hits hard, doesn't like taking hits.
Yeah.
Dragapult's just like a great dragon type in and of itself. Haxorus deals an insane amount of damage.
Yeah, but as we get the match started, let's go ahead and click play. As we get the match started here, we do see the Noivern start, and Drapion comes out for an immediate switch to Swampert, and Swampert sits on a lot of Woody's Pokemon here. Yeah,
despite praising Woody's team for, like, I feel being pretty good, it does struggle hard against this Swampert. It's like immediately we just see it, like, not take damage from the Noivern's flame thrower and immediately put a huge dent in Haxorus.
Yeah. Got a nice mystical fire there, but that power whip just taking out Sylveon right away. But here comes Swampert, the fun one.
Yeah, he does predict the Earthquake going into his flying type to avoid it, but, he just goes... Miss. Yeah, the Hurricane Miss, it hurts Woody's team a lot. I mean, here we see the Copperajah just eating shit after one liquidation.
Yeah.
It's always weird because, like, usually steel types are, like, bulky, have a lot of defense, and don't, like, take a lot of damage from everything. But Copperajah is actually weirdly, like, relatively frail.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, and also here we sort of see the unfortunate side effect of that Hurricane missing, because this Swampert lives like even longer, able to take out this Hippowdon.
Yeah, definitely. Woody is able to whittle down that Swampert, finally take it out. Good job with the Fire Fang there on. Ooh, nice flinch by the way too. Yeah, on the Corviknight.
Yeah, and like immediately after seeing like a good set of moves coming out of Woody and getting a bit lucky with the flinch, immediately he makes a questionable move again by switching out with the Lycanroc. I don't get this one.
Stone Edge probably would have killed that thing, and the balloon also popped. Even if he switched to something with the Earthquake, could have done well. And then after that, just Accelerock, a bunch of stuff would have really helped. But if, as we learned, did not bring Accelerock.
Yeah, he instead opted to bring Sword Stance over Accelerock, but I would at least personally argue that like Stone is already an incredibly good offensive type. If you look at Firebolt's team here, only Lucario and Swampert are able to resist it, and ground hits both of those as well. So you only needs like 2 coverage moves, so you can run both Stone Edge, Accelerock, Sword Stance, and your last coverage move.
Yeah, definitely. I do understand the Sword Stance, but again, like you said, it is just heavily attack heavy. Thanks you, Brain, for that beautiful clairvoyance of words that I came up with there. But yeah, I definitely think if Woody played Accelerock and played a little differently, I think he could have had this game.
Yeah, yes, like we said, the Stone Edge could have knocked out the Volcanion. We already know that another Fire Fang kills Corviknight. Accelerock easily kills this Drapion, which leaves only Lucario as Firebolt's remaining answer.
Yeah.
And he had Pokemon in the back still.
Like Dragapult.
Who is fighting immune. Does take a lot, but it outspeeds Lucario, and Lucario is frail as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I will also note that, like, having seen Firebolt play like a couple more times now, he really underutilizes Lucario, I feel.
That's fair to say. It does seem like certain Pokemon Firebolt has are a little underutilized here and there, but Firebolt's been doing a great job this season. Honestly, this was a good win for him, because this win really helps give him a good chance to make playoffs.
Yeah, it definitely keeps him in the race with the rest of the top 5 of the people that are in contention for it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very important. Like those 5 people, that being Scoots, IDM, Claire, Firebolt, and Chemith, those are like the 5 hot contenders for playoffs in Division 1.
Yeah.
And it's very important for each of them to win their matches against Mass, against Woody, and against Phantom Knight.
Yeah.
And any match that they drop could end up being just the one match too much, which ends up knocking them out. Which leaves their matches against each other to be like the determining factors.
Yeah, and those are going to be some big matches when we get to those in the coming weeks. It's you gotta wait. It heats up even more. You think now it's all spicy and hot, but it just gets even hotter and spicier. So no longer are we going with the California Ghost Peppers. We're now hitting the man, I can't remember the really spicy peppers. Oh well, that's my loss.
Don't rely on me for this information. I have no idea what you're on about.
So, what I will rely on you on is to join me and talk about this next team lineup we have from Mass of the Minneapolis Magnezones and IDM4 of the Brussels Espeons. We have a really interesting lineup here with that Grimmsnarl, and Mass is bringing fun to the table is a good way to put it.
Yeah, so IDM is basically, he is, well, not necessarily the big bad, but like the player to beat, because he has been, because he's made playoffs every single season. He's been the champion one season. He's just incredibly good at this game, and it shows every single time.
Yeah.
So Mass opted to, instead of trying to beat him using conventional tactics,
using unconventional tactics.
Mass was just using the strategy of, if I don't know what I'm doing, how can my opponent?
We see him just kind of sitting there with that Gigalith on the Palisand, which the Palisand, of course, kills it off. Block earlier, by the way, with Mew, if you noticed that, does not work on Ghost Pokemon.
Yeah, the Mew is it's a very interesting and fun set. It's literally something only Mew can do, where you block your opponent, which prevents them from switching. You use Imprison, so any moves that you share with your opponent, they cannot use anymore. And lastly, you use Transform to transform into your opponent. So now you share all moves with your opponent. They can't use them anymore. They can't switch out, so they're forced to struggle to death.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do, and Mass was intentionally only planning to have fun with these Pokemon as it is.
Yeah, it's definitely like a fair attitude to have going into a season like this, especially because Mass is newer. Mass doesn't have. I'm not even sure if he has any experience playing in a league like this. So definitely like sort of approaching it and learning it in like your own fun way. Can be like a good way to like not get salty over things.
Yeah, it definitely can be. Also, this Palisand war we have.
Yeah, the whole idea of Draft League is you're fighting unique sets of your opponent's Pokemon with your own unique set of Pokemon, and they're ruining that by just copying each other.
Yeah. Also, Silvally Ground, we'll find out in later weeks, is definitely something IDM really favors.
Yeah, it's only ground. He has Palossand, like another ground type coverage.
No,
but
the Silvally Ground itself, though, whenever he
I know,
Silvally, it's always been ground.
I'm not sure if it's been ground every time, but he's definitely brought up the ground. He's brought up the ground a few times, and it's worked out well for him every single time. Like Silvally, in draft, it's an insanely good Pokemon because you can just look at like, oh, what's the worst like type matchup my opponent has, or like has the fewest answers to? Oh, it's this one. My Silvally will be that type this week.
Yep, and Silvally just sweeps through the rest of Mass's team.
Yeah, we haven't noted on some of other interesting sets that Mass has brought, like the Lapras who had Block and Perish Song.
Yeah.
Block doing the same thing again of not allowing your opponent to switch, and Perish Song putting both Pokemon on a 3-turn timer, and once those 3 turns are up, you just die.
Yeah, it's definitely something you could take advantage of, I feel like. But Mass also doesn't play it too well with that. Also, Lapras is probably not the best for the block tactic, because Lapras doesn't get anything that really helps it not die against other Pokemon.
Best it has is like rests to keep itself alive, but like generally looking at IDM's Pokemon, it's just a question of Palossand can't be blocked, and 1v1 it loses to pretty much any other Pokemon IDM has. So sadly, this one wasn't to be. Mass also ran Jolteon instead of Full Absorb with Quick Feet and presumably
I believe it was a Flame Orb.
Orb?
I don't recall though. We only got to see it come out once, use a Volt Switch and literally get out, and then come back in and die. That's all we've seen of it.
Yeah, and the Flame Orb only triggers at the end of the turn, so if you're not in at the end of the turn, it doesn't go off, so you don't get burned.
That's why I wouldn't have gone off with the Volt Switch.
Yeah, and Togekiss, the only thing we see out of it, it's Air Slash. Probably just like standard Cheese Flinch. Who knows?
Yeah, probably just some Cheese Flinch there. Gigalith with just Earthquake Heavy Slam just to come in the beginning to a Sandstream. That's really about all it did. I don't know what Salamences was doing. I do see Shadow Claw, so probably just high crit chance and like maybe some flinching with some other moves. That's about it.
It's possible. Do we see it Intimidate or Moxie when it comes out? And this thing.
Don't know. What do
it's Moxie because it doesn't Intimidate. Not that mattered all that much.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't even end up getting a kill. Like Palossand is just way too thick this match.
Yeah, Palossand. Funny Sandcastle's pretty good. Palossand is an insanely good Pokemon.
Yeah. Also, shout out to IDM for not nicknaming his Pokemon again.
Yeah, look at IDM with that consistency.
Get on it, IDM. You can do better than this.
It's really weird when you highlight the names. All right, so I guess I'll introduce our next match, which is this is a good match, if I remember correctly. We got
this is one of the important ones because it features 2 of the top 5 contenders facing off against one another.
Yeah, Claire, who I believe at this point was 4-0 at this point, and Scoots with his 3-1 setup coming into this. So this really would have helped Scoots just ensure he gets into that top 4 bracket area. And what a match this is. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I should announce the teams. I haven't done that yet. We have Claire of the Maryland Manectrics and Scoots of the Dumblespoods army.
Dumblespoods army.
Yes. Let's go ahead and click play. So what do we have to start? The Rhyperior start with a balloon.
Yeah.
Galgi. That Hydro Pump. Yeah, that'll take him out.
Yeah. This match starts off flying immediately as Rhyperior dies instantly, and this Klefki is about to eat shit as well after just getting off a single light screen. And from there, the match proper starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts out like as a 5v5 basically, with both players just having one fewer Pokemon than usual.
It's really nice that Hydro Pump worked out for Claire, because that really prevented Scooch from setting up any rocks.
Yeah, like Rhyperior, like it doesn't innately have sturdy, so unless it's running a sash, if it is hit with something strong enough to kill it, it's just going to die. And in this case, Hydro Pump does definitely prove enough. Like, Dragalge is pretty strong anyway.
Yeah. This Scissor though.
Yeah. And here we get to see that, like, it's briefly there, it switches out immediately, but we get our first glimpse at this Scissor, who is... we're gonna see a lot of it this match.
Yeah, we're also gonna see a lot of constant near kills. We get, I think, a couple other hits where we just almost nearly kill every Pokemon with a single attack.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of Pokemon that just, like, almost kill, like this Leafeon does here as well on this Excadrill.
Yeah, what a hit.
Yeah, just quickly reminding you, Leafeon has base 110 attack, which is not something to fuck around with.
Definitely not.
And here we see Scissor coming in with its, like, 135 or something base attack?
130 base attack. It has Metal Coat, Technician, and it had something else as well. It was max attack. That's all it was. Yeah, so
it's max attack adamant with a steel item or steel move boosting item, as well as Technician, which boosts the power of moves with 60 base power or less. In this case, Bullet Punch has base 40.
Yeah.
So this Scissor, when it Bullet Punched that Excadrill, it was doing like upwards of 30 damage.
Yeah. Good use
and
Tapu-Fini.
Yeah, and Claire is really struggling against it, as like Claire's only like reasonable option against it is this Chandelure, which ends up taking a Surf from the Fini.
And then dying to Sandstorm, I believe. Yep.
And then falls over to the Sandstorm, which it's unfortunate. It was like the last option Claire like had against it, because now it just Bullet Punches through Dragalge through Tyranitar.
Yeah. Insane match, a really good match, and again, this is gonna tie in pretty quickly here to our stats for the week, because that wraps up all the matches we've had this week. All pretty short, nothing I wasn't gonna say nothing insane because it was insane, but nothing terribly long. We'll get to that at some point next week. You got to see that one. So looking at our stats with the top 4 in Division 1.
Yeah.
4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. Wow.
Yeah, and even like the 5th position currently held by Firebolt, who is 3-2, is still very much in the race for playoffs at this point.
Definitely, with a good differential as well, that +7. So just a win or two, Firebolt could really turn this around. So it's anyone's game in the top 5 for Division 1 at this moment in time. Currently, Claire is at the top with that +13 differential, but that could easily change. We can see a lot of changes here. So that's what we're fighting over. No one's solidified at all for playoffs just yet.
Yeah, it's a funny situation where the bottom 3, Phantom Knights, Mass, and Woody, are all statistically eliminated already. But that 5th little spot that can still eliminate somebody is like the dead zone. You don't want to be stuck in there. And currently it's Firebolt who's positioned there. But like Firebolt is still so close to everyone, both record-wise as well as differential-wise. Mm-hmm. Like he's at differential-wise exactly with Scoots. So that can easily change. If Scoots just takes a loss, then Firebolt instantly like shoots up over Scoots. And same goes with potentially anybody.
Yeah.
Like Claire, like sitting at the top only due to differential. One bad loss for Claire could still immediately send her down to the bottom.
Definitely could. And it's something to keep an eye out for this week. I also love how perfectly balanced Division 2 is looking. With that.
You mean Division 1?
No, Division 2 perfectly balanced.
Oh, right.
We have the 5-0, the 3-2, the 3-2, the 3-2, the 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, 0-5.
Yeah.
Insane. But you'll hear about that with the other people for the that are covering the division. I believe it's Cody and Vincent.
Vincent is it last week. I'm not sure who it is this week.
Either way,
We'll see. Even we'll be surprised.
Yeah. Either way, I think that wraps it up for us for this week. Any other thoughts or concerns, or just any predictions for this week? Do you want to predict who you think will go to playoffs?
Do I want to predict who is going to win in week 6 and even week 7, which are both already happened?
It's a fun idea, isn't it?
Yeah, no. All we have to say for now is stay tuned, and to all the coaches, definitely don't slack off yet, because no one's safe.
No one's safe. It's still anyone's game, and you slack off a little bit. Oh, your match is done. Your run is over. But thank you all so much for joining us for Week 5 Division 2. I am once again Cabral, and thank you once again, Aurora, for joining me.
You're very welcome.
For this wonderful journey. We look forward to seeing you all next time. Take care. Stay tuned. It gets even spicier. Adios.
Bye-bye.